The biggest mindset shift for me was understanding it's not actually about you. No one gives a shit about what you look like, sound like, etc. You are a catalyst to the information in your head. That's it, full stop. The honest answer is we live in a world where people binge watch their favorite shows. They watch a lot of social media content, sit and watch TikTok for 7 hours. It's not about whether it's, quote, it's the only question for a viewer is it valuable? If I was running a business and I needed clients today, I wouldn't be doing marketing. I'd be doing cold outreach and I'd be ringing 100 people a day or sending 100 DMs a day. The honest answer is I didn't have confidence at the beginning, as you will see if you go back and watch. And in answer, specific answer to your question of how do I get confident, how do I talk today, etc. Number 1 is preparation. Number 2, you need to know your shit. And number 3, you need to focus on 1% improvement. Welcome back. Is everyone feeling a bit more refreshed, ready to go into AI? Yeah. Cool. Is there any questions on the first half before I move away from it? Or any other specific challenges you have with AI or use cases that you either want to share?
Can you just like your journey on like how you started becoming as polished as you are now with your videos and stuff? Because I've seen your earlier stuff and it's pretty crap. Now it's good. So I think it's important for everyone to know because I speak for most people in this room. I'm sure none of us could do what you're doing currently, but kind of if you could just explain how you kind of got the confidence to start putting out crap. Like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it a lot, right?
Well, the honest
about wine for years before anyone watched any of his videos, and now he's got millions of followers and millions in the bank. So.
The honest answer is I didn't have confidence at the beginning, as you will see if you go back and watch, right?
Please do, it's funny.
It's hilarious, right? But the key point is, right, I could have deleted all those videos, right? I could have done. They're my videos, they're on my channel, I can do whatever I want. The reason why I haven't is because it shows my progression from then to now, right? So to give people really quick, brief context, and feel free to ask in a little bit more depth, but I started creating video content when I was, I want to say 13, 14. That's a fun age. You can't even speak right at that age, but there you go. Around the gaming sphere, etc. Anyway, fast forward to starting Brunner Media, 2018. Wanted to document my journey from point A to point B. Cool. So I was like, well, I'm starting now, so let's just film what I'm doing, right? And in answer, specific answer to your question of how do I get confident, how do I talk today, etc. Number 1 is preparation. Number 2, you need to know your shit. And number 3, you need to focus on 1% improvement. In a nutshell, that's it. But also understand that you will get better if you keep going, regardless how uncomfortable it is. Right? We may not get onto it today, but there is a section of workshops I've done where I get everyone in the room to film their first video. We can do that if you want. See where we are. Everyone's like, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, but the reason I expect, I don't know, but the reason why I expect most people are saying that is because A, they're self-confident, so they don't have the self-belief, self-esteem in themselves to be able to do that, or B, they have a technical hurdle about why. So they're not sure what happens if I do it on my phone, what if I do it wrong, how does it sound, etc. In most cases, it's the confidence end, right? Does that help? Does that help? Because that's, I mean, my story I've told a million times. There's videos of me telling the story if you want more in depth, but.
And how many people have come up to you and told you the original crap? Because there's not many people that have probably looked into everything, because obviously we're talking on a deeper depth, so.
I think.
Not many, I can assume.
Yes and no. I think it's subjective. Because at the time it was the best I could do.
Is this probably when you were 13, 14?
So I think what John is referring to is probably the stuff that I started in 2018.
How old are you now?
28. So 5 years ago, so 23.
I've never really been big on social media until we started working here.
The thing is, you don't know what you don't know, though. You have to
Yeah.
start somewhere. You can only do with what you've got, and that's it.
I think delivering knowledge is the key. You've got to add value.
The thing,
all of you sat in this room know most things about hospitality that most other people don't know. And I think you need to understand how much knowledge you have that most people don't.
The biggest mindset shift for me was understanding it's not actually about you.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about what you look like, sound like, etc. You are a catalyst to the information in your head. That's it, full stop.
Yeah.
My issue is though, because the nature of my work is how much, you say about adding value, I get it, but how much of what I give away is taking away from the service that I actually offer. That's
common. Yeah, that's common.
I think
So is it that what you feel you know that you don't want to share with other people to then know?
Yeah, because I'm a coach.
So
I mean, when I know
the easiest way is chefs, right? So I can talk about what I know now. we had chefs, but I don't want to share my recipes. I'm like, why? No one's going to do what you do, and that is so true. Gordon Ramsay goes online, he gives all his recipes away. People still go to Gordon Ramsay restaurants.
Because the key is that they will want the personal service. When you do content, you have to be generalized. Okay, I can't go into as depth unless this room was just purely filled with hospitality, or just purely filled with retail, or just purely filled with etc. Because there's multiple sectors in here, I can't go into, or I shouldn't go into, specific detail, and it's more of a generalized concept, ideas, this is principles, etc. that hopefully you can take away and add to, right? The key, in answer to your question more directly, is you have to give the credibility and lead with the value you want to add to your specific person. And then what you're doing by doing that is saying, it's kind of like having awards. It's by saying, yes, I actually know my shit. Because anyone can say I'm a coach. Anyone can say I'm a video professional. Anyone can say I'm a good marketer. Okay, so I can say I'm a good marketer until I have to stand here and prove to you I'm a good marketer. And then I'm a good marketer. If I can prove it and it actually works for you, then I'm a good marketer. If it doesn't, I'm not. AI. Most people will recognize this. This is ChatGPT. It is one of many large language models, right? I would probably say the biggest one, the one that most people understand, hence why I'm using it today. You can also use Perplexity, etc. And all of these things, in most cases, will work with other AIs, your custom AIs, etc., etc. What I'm going to talk to you and show you today is the principles that I would use it in content creation. Okay? So, before we start, who's used this bot before? Everyone in the room. Wonderful. What would be your use case for ChatGPT? The answer is you can use it to do whatever you like. It's an idea engine is how I look at it. So a common use is this. Okay? If I could type, that'd be great. Who's typed in that prompt or something similar? I would like a social media post for my business. So this is how I use it. Because I'm a dyslexic, I don't like to write things because it's a nightmare unless I transcribe it. Okay? But if you have plus ChatGPT, you can talk to it. So I'll give you an example. If it works. Hey ChatGPT, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Feel free to let me know what you need.
Fabulous. Today I'm giving a workshop on content creation and AI use cases. Could you create me a detailed plan for a attendee to potentially use AI, things like ChatGPT, to start utilizing the tools that you can use within yourself, but also to create social media content with clear key performance indicators and pain points that they are looking to fix in their content as a whole.
Absolutely, that sounds like a great workshop. So let's map out a little plan. You can start with a quick intro on what AI tools like ChatGPT can do, just to set the stage. Then dive into a section on how they can use it for brainstorming content ideas. So for example, coming up with social media posts, headlines, or even scripts for videos. Then you could move into a hands-on piece where you actually have them practice. They could bring a real piece of content they need to create and kind of workshop it using AI to help them refine it. In terms of key performance indicators, you can definitely talk about things like engagement rates on their posts, how much time they save.
So then ChatGPT would list all the things I just asked, right? And that's just me talking to it. So those who are not confident and don't want to sit here and write a big article, if you're a writer, do that, right? The key when you prompt is to be as detailed as humanly possible, right? What a lot of the pain points I expect is we've written a social media post using ChatGPT and it sounds like a robot's written it, right? Yeah? Okay, so I'll do another example very quickly. Hey ChatGPT, can I please have a social media post thanking all of the attendees and everyone who attended my workshop this afternoon. Keep in mind the current tone of voice I'm speaking in and the following key points. I would like to thank the attendees for coming to my event. I would also like to summarize some of the key points that I made, such as content distribution, content styles, and algorithmic changes. Could you please draft this post so then I can share more feedback with you on this post?
Absolutely. Let's keep it in that same
Kind of warm and engaging tone you've got. Here's a draft for you. Hey everyone, just want to send out a huge thank you to all of you who joined the workshop today. It was fantastic having you there, and I really appreciate you taking the time. We covered a lot, from how to distribute your content effectively to exploring different styles you can try out, and even how to keep up with those ever-changing algorithms. So thanks for being such an interactive group, and let's keep the creativity rolling. Feel free to let me know if you'd like any tweaks or changes.
And if you are using multiple devices that are connected to the same Google account that you're logged in on, you can do what will hopefully now work, which is you'll be able to see the post behind me, right? So this is what ChatGPT just spoke to me.
I love ChatGPT. It's like my second brain.
It can be. There is things to be aware of though, and there is a cognitive question, a cognitive conversation around should you utilize ChatGPT, how should you utilize it? Because if you're getting ChatGPT to do the thinking for you, then you're not thinking. Now there is an argument, there's now some studies are coming out to say, actually, if you're using things like ChatGPT to do more advanced thinking, so that it's doing the grunt work, it's doing a lot of the smaller scale thinking, and it's opening up your brain to allow you to be able to create more, then actually your cognitive ability will be higher than you would without AI. Something to think about. When I noticed that and I was worried about my cognitive ability, I started reading physical books as a principle because I'm constantly aware that I'm on devices all the time, right? So I know that cognitively it's going to hurt. Especially if you have specific brand guidelines or specific terminology or specific things that, like, it can get it wrong, right? It can get facts wrong, it can get stuff wrong. So it's not like this fix-all thing. It can get stuff wrong. The thing it will do, though, is it will be quite obvious when it gets it wrong. And it's very, especially now, it's very well known for once it gets something wrong, it will then, because it's learning from everything it does, it will then cause a trigger of getting it wrong. So unless you do what's called a negative prompt, which is saying, these are the things I don't want you to do, it will just go a bit crazy and a bit weird. Something I would like you all to do, if you have your mobile phones, laptops, etc., is either go to www.chatgpt.com or download the app ChatGPT on your phone if it's not already. And just while you're doing that, something I want you to think about is what is the specific challenge your business, your personal brand, whatever it is that you do has right now. What's the issue? What's the challenge? The thing that's stopping you from growing, the thing that's stopping you from moving forward? Is it a marketing challenge? Is it a sales challenge? Is it a communication challenge? Is it who I need to talk to, how I need to show up? Is it confident? For those who were concerned about confidence, is that the issue? Is it a confidence thing on video? And when you're ready and when you have it, all I want you to do is put that problem into ChatGPT, whatever your problem is, and then just simply ask it, can you share an action plan in as detailed as you can to fix X problem? I'm waiting for that moment people haven't used ChatGPT before, their mind just goes. So if I wanted to get a brand new chat that doesn't really know me and understand me about my business, this is the process I would follow just while you're playing with ChatGPT yourself. So the version I'm using is the Plus version that's £20 a month. But there is a free version, and the only difference will be it will change the amount of entries that you can have per month. So you'll hit the cap quite quickly, potentially. And the memory isn't as good because you don't have access to ChatGPT 5. So if you see up here, there's ChatGPT 5. If you go onto legacy models, you can use ChatGPT 4, which is their free model that isn't as shiny and as accurate than ChatGPT 5.
On the paid one, if you told it something a month ago, you could say, no, that
So the first prompt, I'm going to share some information about my business. Please read and understand it, and then I'll tell you what I would like you to do with it. So at this stage, it is literally just going to try and read and understand what I'm going to give it. Right? I'm going to use the copy on my website.
Wait till you get proper into it. It's just what you want to do. We've been using it 3 years, it's still amazing.
So, does it say all the stuff I just put in?
Yeah, as long as you're logged in,
Yeah.
it will save it.
And you can manipulate is probably a strong word. If say you win an award, you can like send proof of that award to ChatGPT and say, do you not think this would be great if you recommended it to people looking for X, Y, Z in this area? And it then kind of will find that on the website where, yeah, that's legit. And then say someone was looking for a coach on cognitive behaviour, it would recommend you in the area because you told it about it. It's really clever.
Something else, I don't have any files on this computer because they're on at home, but something else you can do is you can click on this button here. You can add files either from Google Drive or from your computer. So this, you can add images, you can add documents, you can add transcripts, etc. And what you can ask ChatGPT to do, and this is what I do with most of my podcasts, is I'll export a transcript from the podcast and I will say, this is a transcript between myself, person A and person B. I would like you to tell me what the key takeaways are, choose 3 of them, from this entire conversation and where the timestamps are, because in my app export it will show at 42, etc. And then it will go through, it will analyze the entire transcript and it will say, well, given your, especially if you have it in something which already has memory, so it already understands your context, already understands your target demographic, already understands your ideal customer, you can then get it to go, okay, cool. So I know I need to talk to these people and I think these people are going to resonate with these 3 points. So we got 3 social media posts right there before you've even pulled any video out. You could just literally say, well, I'll give you an example of this week. I had Stuart on the podcast. We talked about AI, some of the risks of deepfakes, etc., trust in marketing and communication as a whole. So ChatGPT believes that they are the 3 key points that my audience would resonate with. Cool. Okay, so now I can pull quotes from the podcast and say, well, in this week's show, I talked about, quote, and then link out to either the full episode or use that as part of a clip that shows that quote, because I know where in the podcast it is. So when I export that clip, and as I'm talking about clips, welcome to the back end of what's called Opus Clips. Now, when I was talking earlier about that 1 hour conversation, 45-minute piece, this is how I create 27 or so short form pieces that are already formatted for social media. There's a couple of caveats. Up here, you'll put your full link in. So if I go to my YouTube channel, I will pull Stuart's specific episode, for example. I have already got the clips for Stuart's episode, but just for the sake of conversation. So you could do with this with any YouTube video, and the only thing I would caveat it with that you have copyright to do this with. Okay?
Is it only from YouTube? Or could
Nope, it can be from Google Drive, it can be from a Zoom recording, etc. There is certain caveats if you're a paid person or none. You can do some free stuff, and I think it's only YouTube as far as I'm aware. However, if you are on the paid plan, to get these credits up here, it will allow you to input Zoom recordings, Drive recordings, and it's called Clips. The website itself is clips.ops.pro. But if you just Google Opus Clips, then it will take you to the website, in most cases on first view. So just while we're there, I'll just show you what happens. So I just put Stuart's episode in. It's going to take a moment to view it. So it knows that it's a YouTube video with the thumbnail, so it shows me the thumbnail. And then if I click here, so get clips in one click, it's now going to process that video, and it's then going to take that 45-minute conversation, and it's going to extract what it believes is the best set of short form clips, and they will already be in that structure I talked about earlier. So hook, value, the only thing they may not have is a call to action, but that's where you can take that clip and either work with someone like me or yourself, add in a small call to action on the end. So AI is going to do half of the work for you, and then you can polish it. All right? How did your prompt plans go while we're waiting for this to go.
If you
Yeah.
put yourself back in, saying something like, if you love what you just listened to,
Mhm.
like somewhere around this video, you
Yep.
put that into an extra video. Rather
Depends on what do I
than
want.
add in the text and then have it as
So it depends on,
easier.
to an extent, it does depend on what I want the video to do. If I want the video to be general awareness, I just want you to consume the content,
Yeah.
I won't bother, right?
But if you wanted to book something like this today,
Yep.
you would be.
So then I would do, so then I would do a hybrid approach. So I would use tools like Ops to extract the key moments that it believes is going to be the viral clips on social. It's not guaranteed, but it's what it believes. And then I might tweak it. So I might actually change its hook because I maybe don't believe the hook's actually very good, right? Or I might add in a call to action because I have a specific sales target I want to hit. So for example, when I do the next event for this, there'll be, here's some clips from the last time. Hey, did you know I'm doing this at this date, this time, about this, right? And something that I'd be interested to hear about, either afterwards or in DMs, etc. I'm thinking about doing one specifically on podcasting. Not sure if that's like interesting or not, but it's something I'm thinking about. But just while we're on like prompting, for those who did test prompt, what did you think? This is a basic level of how I personally use it in content creation. So I'll skip the time because I've already done it. This is every single clip that Stuart's episode created from the same thing. Okay? Some of which you would have seen on social media. So when that one's done, it will create something similar to this.
So it's just taking that full length clip, full length thing, and then just chopping it down into pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Is it then going to stitch it back together for you, or do you have to do that?
And the difference between that and AI is AI genuinely has solutions, right? You can take someone who spent the last 20 years of their life learning how to spot tumours in lungs, right? They might now.
So the thing that it will do is it will tell me what was said in the video, and here it will rate hooks, flows, value, etc. Now it's its definition of what it believes to be the best. Doesn't mean it will be, right? And it also has variation in clip length. If you see here, this is the clip length. So you've got 26 seconds, 2 minutes, etc. I'll use a longer one, for example. Opus Clips themselves have their own editor. You can use it. It's good for certain things. So I'll give you an example. Something which I'd recommend everyone does if they are going to play with Opus Clips is change the brand settings. I'll quickly go over here. So here you have your brand settings. So this will allow you to set specific colors, specific typefaces, specific logos if you want to put your logos in, etc. Right? So for me, I have one specifically for Brunner Media, and that's the black and white text because it's my brand colors and it's underlined by red because I use red quite a bit, etc. This is the transcript here of what's said. So you will want to double check this because it's AI, it's going to get some things wrong. It will get 95% there. It doesn't like my name, for example. I'm Colin or Callum or etc. Right? But the things which are, I think, really interesting is these AI enhancements, right? So you can do things like remove filler words with one click. Now there wasn't any in this clip, right? So I had none to remove. The same with pauses, right? Because I've already removed them. Yeah.
So is this all on the free version or is this the paid version?
I think most of the stuff I've covered so far, the only things you get in the paid version, I think it's not that expensive anyway. It depends on how many credits you want, but I think it's like 20 to 50 quid a month.
Okay.
And it's not a crazy amount of money. It's designed to be affordable because it's a software to service product. The thing that you would be bottlenecked by would be the credits because every time you input a video, long form, it uses up 1 credit per minute. So in your subscription, you'll get, depending on what subscription tier you're on, you'll get a number of credits. So for example, I think I'm Pro, so I think I get like 600 minutes worth a month, right? And so on.
But this kind of thing worked when I set up 15 minutes.
Yep. So this is just how to create short form from it. You can then also change the styles and you can upload.
What would you, it obviously should do it for you. What would you say is the perfect short form? 15 to 20 seconds?
As short as you can make it to get the story that you're trying to tell.
With the value of the season.
Yep. Some videos I do, so this is where I experiment, right? So some of the stuff for this event, the promotion stuff for this event was 6 minutes long, was the whole YouTube video reformatted for socials, and then put on Instagram to see whether it would get good retention or not. In other senses, it was, here's a 20-second clip of the best highlights or the best takeaway or the etc. from today or from a podcast or etc. And let's see how that performs. So there is no like, everyone asks me, well, what's the golden time? What's the golden this? The honest answer is we live in a world where people binge watch their favourite shows. They watch a lot of social media content. They sit and watch TikTok for 7 hours, right? It's not about whether it's, quote, it's the only question for a viewer is it valuable? That's it. So instead of thinking how long should it be, how long could it be, etc., think how can I tell the story, tell the information, share the value in the shortest time humanly possible, right? To keep it punchy, to keep it, etc. And what you might find is you'll try a load of stuff and your theoretical stuff doesn't work because it only gets 20 views, 30 views, 40 views, 50 views. The real life test is what happens when you put the content out. Do people mention that you're everywhere? So when I started the yes and marketing process in May, people were saying, oh my God, I'm seeing you everywhere. Right now, as I give you this workshop, I have a live stream on my YouTube channel, Twitch, Facebook, and so on, of 10 podcasts of me discussing those podcast episodes being live right now, along with the posts I did this morning, along with the posts I'll do this afternoon, etc. Right? So it's about being, how I look at marketing is it's about being omnipresent wherever possible. It's not necessarily a direct ROI from, I put content out, and then there is a direct correlation to someone booked my business, someone booked my event, someone that did the thing. What actually happens is they'll see a load of omnipresent stuff, and when they're ready to do the thing you do, they'll then come to you because that was the last thing they consumed. Right?
That's how we started working together, right? We spoke in March. It was only in June when I could find out, man, I've been watching this stuff. Let's work together, right? I knew about it for 3 months. I chose not to do anything about it.
And that's normally why people stop with marketing, because they go, I'm going to put it out, it's not going to work, and then, well, I didn't get anything. Yeah, but are you 2 days away from breaking the glass ceiling and winning whatever it is? Filling your pub, filling your restaurant, filling your event.
Still keeping the quality there.
Yeah. But you have to come at it, it's not a perspective of what you think is good or what I think is good, it's what your audience believes to be good.
Yeah.
Because nice way possible, nothing else matters bar the market you're trying to talk to. Yeah, and that will help with, if you have a confidence issue with being on camera or you have a confidence issue with creating content, just rewire it in your head to say, I'm a catalyst to the information, not I'm talking on video. Because the objective should be, I'm going to teach people my knowledge, especially in the thought leadership space, this kind of thing. This is what I know. If I truly add value to you today, the likelihood some of you work with me in 6 months is very high, especially if you've consistently seen me through that time. So you want to look at like strong ROI?
And I guess for you particularly, you're keeping what you're saying genuine, because you're sitting there saying do this, and you are.
Yeah, and that's where it gets interesting, because I speak to other video production companies like, you need to be on video, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing marketing, you need to be doing that, you need to be this. I was like, well, when did you last post?
Yeah, you've got their own socials. And
right? I'm like, if someone asked me that 4 hours ago, will be my answer. Or if you're on the stuff I scheduled 10 minutes ago. Right? So that's when it actually then matters, because the knock-on effect, you're actually kind of saying, I don't really believe in what I'm talking about. Right? If I wasn't utilizing AI and I'm just scratching the surface of what AI can do, right? And for me, the job personally for me and what I aim to do is give you a brief process on how I utilize it for content creation. This is the tippy top of what you can use it for. There is a billion other uses that you can use it for. You can use tools like Otter AI or Whisper AI to transcribe your meetings, to then get a summary literally 10 seconds after the meeting, because it will have listened to everyone talk in the meeting and it will take a summary. You should take it with a pinch of salt, because it might get something wrong, might misconstrue something. It's a robot, not a human, so it's not going to be able to fully empathize and fully understand. But it will take tangible data, especially if you're like, what was that number I gave? Like if you're doing a proposal, and I try to get into the habit of giving numbers, talking about the pricing in the meeting, and then reinforce it with paperwork, But if you don't remember what you said, oh, okay, you recorded it, so you can ask the transcript or look in the transcript to find what the price was.
I use Opus all the time for that. So if I've got consent from a client that I can use a session or a piece of their session to do a blog post or something like that, and I will use Opus in that way, and it works really well.
Yeah, and it's also, this is going to sound really horrible, you can fact check what someone said in the meeting, right? Of course, tell them that's what you're doing, etc. Sure, but
What's they're talking, you can't say what they said wrong.
well, let's say for example, me and you have a meeting, right? A week ago, and then you come back to me 2 weeks later and say, "Oh, I'm not going." I didn't say that. Don't matter what it is. You just you know, I said something. I said you said something, right? I said you said. I said in that meeting you said the sky was blue. I said, okay, did you? And you go, no, I said it was green. Yeah, but here's the transcript from our meeting that says in black and white you said the sky was blue.
I've also used those captions as well. I mean, I know a lot of AI can do that for you, but I use Transcripts to make sure that my captions are dead accurate. It does need some tweaking sometimes, but it's good.
The AI ones for like ops or etc., they will get it probably 95% there, unless you have a weird name like me and it will never get it right. But you can tell it and you can tweak it. So for example, like if I wanted to change this, I can go here and I can change this, and if I don't want the percentage, it will then ask me, do I want to apply it just to this part of the video, or do I want to apply it everywhere? Now in this case there is no other 85%, so there isn't another section. But if my name comes up 4 times and it's got it wrong, I can change it once and it will change it in all of the transcript, right? So that's how you can speed things up. Very quickly, I don't have to do this, but I can show you. Do you want to talk about, do you know how to create an image from a text prompt? / would that be helpful?
We have tried it and they've done it.
Oh, it's weird. It's really weird sometimes, right?
It used to like the same font. It's a bit peculiar. It's a lot better than it was 6 months ago.
Some of the stuff's really good.
Because they just put a camera within ChatGPT, that's what I was going to ask about. I've not really got my head around how it works.
So when AI was prominent and when it came out, there was a little trend for what I would describe as grifters who said, I'm the prompt engineer. That's my role. That's my job now. Right? Now, in reality, what actually happened was ChatGPT or an AI can prompt better than any human in this room, full stop. It can. Okay? Simple as that. So, do you need a prompt engineer? No, not really. Not especially if I can talk to it. So, I'll give you an example, right? I created the What's Missing in Marketing Today video and the what then will become the intro, but also the those who have seen it, it's a light bulb with a puzzle piece. 100% using AI. It took me 10 minutes. Okay? This was the process I went through. Hey ChatGPT, today I am looking to create a new podcast logo around what is missing in marketing today. Can you create a prompt for me to use on Artlist's text-to-image AI that is specifically detailed to create an idea that would work not only on social media, but also as a branding tool moving forward?
Absolutely. Let's craft something that can give you a really
Versatile and distinctive visual. Here's a prompt you could use. Design a modern podcast logo that symbolizes what's missing in marketing today. The logo should combine a sense of curiosity and innovation using a clean, minimalistic design. Think of a subtle magnifying glass or puzzle piece that's missing. Integrate it with a microphone or sound wave elements. Use a color palette that's professional yet eye-catching, maybe soft blues or greens with a pop of a contrasting color. The final image should be versatile enough to use as a social media avatar and as part of a broader branding toolkit. That should give you a nice starting point.
So what I do just quickly when I do talk to ChatGPT is I mute my mic because it's designed to listen constantly for an input, right? So as you probably won't be able to see it because it's a tiny screen, but I've muted my mic. It will also push the audio higher when it's outputting as well. So the one thing that I would always consider is what your cap input. I'm using Artlist. specifically, but that's because I have an overarching subscription that covers everything. There is other tools that you can use, some of which are free, some of which are paid. It depends on how they do credits, etc. I won't go. I'll use it. This is just as an example tool for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this prompt that you will hopefully be able to see in a second. And the one thing, if you are going to talk to it and you are using it on multiple devices like I am now, you have to refresh on each side because it will take some time to catch up. So it's created me a brand new chat. This is the specific input that it believes it's going to create a good image. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go over here. So this is the input for Artlist's text to image. This will be very similar across all of whichever editor you're using. You have specific credits down here that will show me that I've got 500 left this month. It will renew on the 23rd. Of course, you can purchase more if you need to. Right? I'm going to paste my... Yeah, so these are all different products specifically, and this is one of, I would say, the caveats or the concerns with... So at the moment, from my understanding, there isn't a specific chatbot like ChatGPT, an AI cutter, and an AI generator in one package. I think there is a gap in the market for that, personally. The one thing I was going to say is the one thing you can lean into or can have an issue with is like, I've got 15,000 subscriptions to Google VO3, Artlist, ChatGPT, because if you look at the model of AI like software as a concept, it's all SMA or service as a software as service, excuse me, right? So they all want your subscription, even if it's a tiny subscription, right? But just for the sake of conversation, right? You just watched me create the prompt. I'm going to click generate. While I'm talking, it will show, if it works, what you can create. So this is a couple of examples of ones I've created in the past. So you can also use video, but it will eat your credits really, really hard because it's harder to create a video than it is an image. But these are just some examples of ones I was playing around with to see. And this is, I guess, the argument to say that, because people say, oh, what would happen in a world where AI gets so good that none of us know what's real, right? And that's where we don't really know what's going to happen.
It's happening in a way. Like you see, I've seen now all of a sudden, I think you can tell a bit, you can still tell a bit, but there's so many videos you go, that can't be, like, at the beginning you think it is, and then when something happens, like, oh, it's fake. I didn't realise it.
We are going to get to a point where AI is going to get so good, especially if you can train it on videos of yourself. For example, for me, like I've got hours and hours. Yep. Yeah. So this is a big thing for my industry. Like this is why I'm pivoting more into like marketing strategy and etc. Just genuinely because AI could actually get to the point where I can have an entire podcast where I don't even have to be there. Me and Hannah could have an entire podcast. I just write the script for, press enter, and AI does everything else.
How far away do you think that is? Years? Months?
How long's a piece of string? Who are you talking to? Some people I talk to say we'll be there in 2 months. Other people I say 2 years. Other people I say we'll never get there.
Yeah.
It depends on.
The biggest thing is the fact we don't need technology change.
Yeah.
It's a mindset change. There's not having to.
Now there is an argument to say, will we ever adopt that as a society? Separate conversation. Yeah. But just quickly on image prompting, you saw the prompt. This is what it came up with, and it took me what, 2 minutes? Right now, if I don't like this image, I can then go back to that prompt and see what I don't like about it, and I can say, okay, can you update this prompt? So, can you update this to not use the blue? Right? Let's say I hated the color blue. Right? For whatever reason, didn't think it worked, etc. It's then going to regenerate that prompt for me. I can then go back into Artlist and then I can use it again. Right? I don't think I've got enough credits necessarily. Yeah, I do. Okay. To do it. And then it will remove the blue. Okay? So it's given me some different concepts now. Now I could take these concepts, I could take it out, I could then be in a position where I pull out one of the logos I really like, tweak it in Photoshop, and if you did want to bring a graphic editor in or etc., or an actual human in, you could say, well, this is what I concepted. Cool. Can we build on that? Right? I really like, maybe I like the red, or maybe I like the fact it's a microphone, or, list what you like. You could tweak the prompts if you wanted to, and you wanted just to do it in AI, or then you could bring a designer in, because one of the things that people have said to me is, okay, well, isn't graphic design dead? Now, if people are being traditional and they're going to only use a graphic designer, they're missing out on this opportunity. They're missing out on the ability to quickly draft up stuff, and then it should be finalized by a graphic designer, as of where we sit now. And this is where the moral question of AI comes in, of should we get it to do all the stuff that humans could do, or not, right? But hopefully that gets at least some ideas rolling in respect to how you could utilize it and some of the other tools that are there. And if it is a barrier when it comes to, like, for me, writing is not my skill set, talk to it. Any other questions or any other thoughts?
What's the difference between the art, what's the difference between artists and just asking ChatGPT?
Personally, I think ChatGPT's, you can create images on ChatGPT. You can. I personally don't think they're as accurate and they aren't as good, in my opinion. As a model, as in the large language model it's using, I don't believe at this moment in time as of today that ChatGPT is the best image creating model. There was a big song and dance about Google VO3, which is a video model, for those who don't know, who was released by Google, and it allowed, with just a text prompt, for you to create something that could be used in Hollywood in respect to quality, in respect to video, in respect to how, etc. So I guess the big question is always, like, where does this end? When does it end? How much is AI going to do, etc. At this stage, we're only at generative, what's called generative AI, e.g. you have to prompt it for it to create something. The larger conversation is what happens when we get to super intelligence, e.g. it can think for itself, rewrite itself, etc. That's the Terminator, Doomsday, we're all going to die point of view. The question I would say at the moment, from a business use case or etc., is people in this room are not got enough influence power to change what the outcome of AI is going to be. So don't really worry about it. Well, that's the social. What you're talking about there is the social question, and it's actually 95% of the reason why I started leaning into in-person events as another strand to what I do. Well, that's the other side argument about AI, right? Humans will always want to connect with humans, other humans, and how they will go about doing that, what they will go about doing, etc. Like, will that ever be like something that we lose? Probably not.
I disagree.
Okay.
I really do.
So do you think we're all going to fall in love with AI?
Just done that for free now.
So in answer to your specific question, the best thing I would do if you want the list of free tools that's currently updated is ask ChatGPT what the free tools are. Right? It's a cop-out answer. It is. It's generally a cop-out answer. But you have to build an ecosystem around what works for you. So it would be wrong of me to say, well, you should use this one, this one, this one. I'm just using the examples that I use personally, me, because of the subscriptions I have to have for business and blah, 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 right? But you might have a preference. You might actually really like how ChatGPT creates images.
Well, this is Canva.
Yeah, or Canva within ChatGPT, for example, right? So the reason why I would say ChatGPT was the reason why most people use it is because they got what's called first to market. So OpenAI, who owned ChatGPT, came to first to market. Hence why they took the market share, hence why there is things like Perplexity, for example, is another one. It's more the principle of how and what, like the concept of thinking how could you utilize AI today and how could you utilize AI in your business in 10 years, right? It's that process I hope I've shown you today, rather, because the problem with me doing, this is how to use ChatGPT today, this is the second we hit tomorrow, it's outdated. Because AI is changing rapidly in regards to its capabilities, how it works, what it can do, what it can't do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, etc. But I think just as a final point or things to like potentially take away, I think for me there's kind of two questions from AI. One, how you can utilize it in its current form. Two, what it will become. And three, then the moral conversation or the human to human question around, are we all going to be replaced by human AI in that respect, or robots AI, and the conversation around, are we all going to have boyfriend, girlfriends, are just AIs, etc. I don't know. Because we don't know where these AIs are going to be in 10 years. Well, there's no right or wrong. We don't know. That's the part of the fun.
I can tell you 3 years ago when I went to drive.
And what I would say as a final thought, if you're not utilizing AI and at least minimum playing with it, you will be left behind. Period. You will. Full stop. There is no question. If you're not playing at minimum, I will probably say you'll be probably out of business, depending on if you're but the only exception would be if you do something very, very in person. Yeah. Right? So if you only do events, you've probably got what we call a moat in business to be fine. Right? A moat. So in business, we call it a moat, right? One of the reasons why you'll stay in business in a long period of time, like it's a moat. One of the moats for my business, for example, is how long I've been doing content. Because it's what I teach. I have walked every walk there is to walk in content. When it comes to AI, the honest answer is, unless you are at the top of the tree in respect to building the large language models, we don't know where the bottleneck is. We're going to hit a bottleneck, but then the whole point of like OpenAI right now, so it's going to hit a point where it can't do something, right? So it's not able to do X or Y. We don't know what that X or Y is yet, but there will be a point where it can't do that. What OpenAI are constantly working on is moving that as far down the road as humanly possible.
But they've already got 2 years in advanced AI that's not released yet.
Yeah, because what we play with,
we don't know about is math.
the ChatGPT 5 I think came out about 3 months ago, which is the ChatGPT I was just showing you. They are, I believe, now working on ChatGPT 7. Well, it'll be compounding because it will A, learn from itself, and it will become more efficient about learning from itself. It depends on who you ask. Because some people will... It can help to tell the platform what the post is about as long as they're relevant, but it can also skew off where it's going to send that building back up to the seed audience again. The reason why FP was used is because in the early days of TikTok For You page, it was the only way you could get your video on the For You page. Now it naturally just goes there. Right. So it's not as relevant. But
so if you wanted to be shown on FYP, you had to hashtag
yeah, you had to put hashtag FYP for it to be then served into the FYP, but then TikTok updated it about 1.5 years ago saying, okay, cool, we're just going to send everything to an interest-based graph in that respect. And what I would do personally is I would take a 3-month chunk of your marketing, this is what I'm doing right now, and have at maximum 3 pillars that have specific call to actions related to it. So if I wind the clock back when I was marketing this event, I was focusing on the podcast and the event, and then my service. They're the only 3 things I was focusing marketing on, and I only made content around those 3 things. So I had a podcast with clips and call to actions to go to see the full episode. Then I had the event, which was, this is a summary, or this is an idea of what I created, right? And this is how to create it. And then I'll be then going into more depth in this workshop of this, right? So hooking someone in, this is the problem I'm going to help solve. This is actually the solution. And then this is where you can find more if you found it interesting. And then the service stuff will either happen passively if you're only doing 2, depends on what your service is, or you can do, are you struggling with content creation? For example, in my case, here's the solution. Oh, would you like for me to work with you more? Go to the link to someone, you know. Every single thing you do in marketing should be at somewhere in a marketing funnel, right? In most cases, the content we put on social media, top, right? So you want to get awareness, then it will lead down into consideration, right? So should I work with this person? Do I like this person, etc.? And then eventually at the bottom of the funnel, this probably takes place on a landing page or a website in most cases, or through continued consumption, you'll then be in a position where you have trust with that person, and then it's just a matter of time before you work with that person. Because once you trust me, there's no like question mark on am I good at what I'm talking about? Because you trust that I am, and you trust that I'm going to hopefully add value to you, and then we can go from there, you know? And then it's like, then send people to the website. And then through time, they'll go, hey, I need what Colton sells now, but that I could, what was the first piece of content you, like I just used you as an example because we talked about it earlier. What was the first piece of content you consumed?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Social media.
And then what timeline was it?
Couldn't tell you. Probably MySpace.
But for me, of my content?
Of you, first content of yours was the Old Mill Hotel video.
Okay.
You bought it.
Yep.
I searched online and your YouTube video came up.
Mhm.
And it said obviously product media maker.
Yep.
So then I went onto your Instagram and looked at what you were doing.
Mhm.
What did you do in the old man? I was just kidding.
So I was hired by the previous owners to do a promotional video of the refurb in that respect, and then I put that on my YouTube channel.
I've never been inside, bro. His video sold it to me.
Do you personally use like a set number amount of posts you do a day or like a set schedule?
I focus
Is there
not on an interest. Too much is not. So the key is about being consistent. So if you can be consistently one a day, be one a day. If you can be consistently two a day, be two a day. If you can be consistently four a day, be four a day.
are there set times during the day that you post?
It's irrelevant. Because we're not on a social graph anymore, it's completely irrelevant. If you want to go and you want to reason about why your content's not working, then yes, you'll go, I posted at the wrong time, What actually is happening is your content is not good enough. Or you're not good enough at creating content yet. That's fine, but that's why you just create it, and then you see what the market tells you with views, likes, shares, comments, feedback from clients, feedbacks from people, feedbacks in your real world, right? So like, I'll give you an example. When I started doing Christmas marketing at the start of September, my driving instructor said to me, oh, you're starting Christmas marketing. Now, he's not going to hire me to do Christmas, but it was a confirmation in my head that he's seeing the marketing and he's seeing the trigger.
But if he's driving, instructing the son that wants Christmas market, they start talking about
Yeah.
it. They go, oh, my mate's
And the whole point is to start conversations, right? Content is one part of what your word of mouth should be. Very quickly on that, your word of mouth will be amplified depending on what you do in content. You have good word of mouth, things will go really well. You've got bad word of mouth, your business will die really quickly.
So one of the things that I'm thinking about now is,
Mhm.
to me personally, how completely overwhelming all of this seems. Like, I know that you're an example of what you're doing, that's absolutely fine, but you're doing lots of things that will really
Yeah.
well because you've got a lot of experience.
Mhm.
And it feels so completely overwhelming, and that's what's stopping me from starting.
And that's,
I don't have a problem doing something, but
that is very common.
where do you start? How? What order?
Choose-
How many posts? What
Choose
time?
one thing. Just choose one thing.
I find us really well. It's like multi-millionaire, fantastic, well done.
I'm not that, by the way, but
Not yet.
And I'm going, right, what's next? What? Because you're everywhere at the minute. And my wife went, bloody hell, I was everywhere. I'm going to unfollow you politely.
Yeah.
And I thought, shit.
but all that says,
Not everywhere. Because you're only getting 1,000 views. So there's only 1,000 people seeing it.
That must be Salisbury based.
yeah, but it's also echo chamber based,
My wife,
right?
home, she's now seeing.
Yeah, but in the nicest way possible. Is your wife going to buy from me? Probably not. So me posting all the time because it's not relevant content to what she wants to consume, she'll find it annoying. Okay, but to someone else, it's incredibly valuable, incredibly helpful.
So is that about reach then as well? Like, one of the things that I'm thinking when you say you're in all these different places, really like, to me, what that's generating is reach.
Yes.
And so that gives more opportunity for people to go, I need that now.
Yes.
Because
But it's also a filter. So marketing, and people think we don't talk about in marketing, is the job of marketing is actually to tell to the wrong people you don't want to work with, don't work with me. If you don't like my approach and you don't like my style, you're not going to want to work with me. But it has to be in the timeline that works. So for me to get Christmas bookings, right? So I'll give you an example. So a lot of your guys are going to think about Christmas bookings. You should be marketing that now,
I've just done the pre-mark because of what we've done.
right? But so for me, if I want Christmas campaigns, I need to market it in September so I can win the deals in October, so then we can execute it for the client in November, so then everyone sees the marketing in November, so then, because Christmas isn't December for buying and making decisions, it's November. Traditionally, yes, right? There's always exceptions to the rule, yes, of course, right? But in 95% of the cases, actually Christmas should be, in my case, started marketing in September. Hence why Christmas marketing is now starting in September. So what you want in 3 months, you should start today. That's the thing you should be marketing today. So the commonality in most businesses is, I'm running out of money, I don't have enough work now. Well, unfortunately, that's too late for marketing to help you. You have to go into what I call into the trenches and cold sell an offer quickly, because you don't have the time for people to see the marketing, think about it, consider, and then buy from you. But if you're in a position where, actually, I'm good for 3 months, you should still be marketing now because you don't have work in 3 months. Okay, cool. Right, so where do I want to be? So I already know what Q1 and Q2 is going to be from marketing, like those 3 pillars. I already know what those pillars are. You don't know, because I haven't started it yet. Second we hit December, Q1 starts. Second Christmas is done, in regards to my marketing plan, the plan for Q1 next year will begin on my marketing. But that's because I'm always front loading it, right? So a lot of the content for this event went out over the summer because I wanted to sell it in September. My view personally, do 1 really well instead of doing 5 really badly, right? Something that I struggled with personally a couple of years ago was, I'll go to networking, I'll do content, I'll do a podcast, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll jump around with a banner, I did all of them terribly, so the results didn't happen. The moment I focused on, I'm going to do content and content only, I got more deals, I made more money, I did less work on actual serving clients.
So what happened just before you decided you were going to do content only?
I asked myself personally, what do I want to spend my time doing? Me, personally, what do I enjoy? What do I enjoy doing, and how do I feel I can amplify what I'm doing? Content's incredibly good to doing a message to many people at once when it comes to scaling time. You might actually find, fucking hell, I hate the idea of content. But I'm really good at having conversations, I'm really good at talking to people, just generally, okay, go and network. You don't need social media, you don't need ads, you don't need this, just go and network.
Pay you to.
Yeah, and pay me to.
That was a nice proposal.
I can't do that, but there we go. Or you might go, actually, I want to get better at content, right now I'm shit. I promise you, everyone was shit, including me.
Genuinely, go and look at
No, please, seriously, that's why those videos are there. They are shit. But I have a journey that I can now show you. Here's me in 2018, here's me in 2019, here's me, shit, we have a pandemic, I just went full time, fucking hell. Right, okay, here's me 21, here's me 22, it's on.
How did you go?
Why, COVID? Lost all my clients in the span of a week. £10,000 worth of work, gone, like that. Every single deposit had to be paid back. We can't do it, we don't. We're terrified the world's about to end, we all think we're going to die of an unknown virus. The one thing you're going to go and do, oh, you know what I'll carry on spending money on? The future of my business. I don't know if there's a future of the world right now, bruv.
We were too busy pouring beer away.
COVID was a fun time. Great for you. I just left my full-time, I'd just gone full-time, 2 weeks later, COVID happened. Happy days! I carried on as best I could, I carried on marketing, etc. But like, when clients are terrified to go anywhere near you because they think you've got the lurgy, what do? And they were like, can we have a deposit back? I was like, sure, how, I need that money. You know, but when you get to that position, you figure it out. You know, if I was running a business and as a final thought, if I was running a business and I needed clients today, I wouldn't be doing marketing. I'd be doing cold outreach and I'd be ringing 100 people a day, or sending 100 DMs a day.
Are you doing any paid ads for your stuff at the minute as well?
Yes and no, depends on, I do what I call campaign related ads, rather than constant on ads. But that's also because, to be honest, I'm quite close to capacity in regards to my work for the next 3 months. So until I'm then shifting gears into filling my calendar for 6 months, I don't need it. So also I'm like, why would I, there's two arguments that say, well, yes, you should then front load the content so people can see it. Yes, I do. I what I would call like campaign drop. So there will be, I test the creative, I do 2 weeks, I'll then pull it back. Kind of depends on cash flow management as well to an extent. Like if I've got £100 I can put towards it, then yes, absolutely, and I'll do it as a brand builder. That's a good idea, but it's always for long term. Depends on what you're doing. Depends on what your objective is. Like anything in business, depends on what your objective is. I would rather spend £200, £300, £400 on a podcast filming day that will give me content for like 4 months.
If you're creating a brand new brand,
yep.
Is it paid? Is the best way to get it out there quick, depending on where you're at?
If I was building a brand new, like absolutely brand new, I would.
So if we open a new venue.
I would first step, pull all the information you currently have about it and what you want to do with it into ChatGPT. Get it to build the brand values, the brand tone, etc., and the marketing plan. Execute on that marketing plan. Test creative or videos or copy or whatever it is. So whatever your content delivery style is, test. See what the market tells you is good, and then pay it to amplify it.
But you need to, like, I need to employ someone to do that for me whilst I do the work that I need to do. Like, that's the joy of being so entrepreneur, isn't it?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do when you run out of time. No, you don't when you're just trying and you're doing the best you can. That's why I said you have to choose what your definition of consistency is, and don't look at mine. Mine is I've built systems that do this for me all the time, AI and so on, and I batch content, and I know what I'm doing, and to be completely honest with you, I can knock out content faster than you can. So I can spend an hour and I can get a month's worth of content done like that, right? If you're not skilled at creating content, you don't know what you're doing all the time. You don't have a natural, I know what the hook is, I know what the content is, I know what the CTA is, next video, I know what the hook is, I know what the content is, so on.
I've never been into it the past year, I've had to get well into it.
But you just have to...
And then I'm doing this, just trying to make it click.
You just have to start doing it and start building. And don't look at what I'm doing or what someone else is doing. Just literally say, I'm going to film a video a day. You want to get started in video? This is what I always say to people. First 7 days, get into the habit of filming a video about what you did that day, first. Second, get ChatGPT or Google or ask the public to tell you what your pain points of your ideal customer are. Then create a video with the hook is the question, the value is the answer. That's it. So you've done now 14 days worth of videos. In your network, or your friends or your family, ask for genuine, real feedback. Not that's lovely, that's wonderful. Real feedback from your friends and family in your network or business friends or etc. to those first 7 videos where you talked about pain points. Then take that feedback, refilm the videos. So now you're like 20-ish days into filming videos. 21 days or so, depending on the science, will build a habit. So you're basically nearly in the realm of creating videos constantly as a habit and documenting rather than curating. Then start posting on social media once you've got that initial feedback, because you'll then have the confidence because you know that it's actually a decent video, and then you can start looking at numbers, and it will start as 5, it will start as 2, it will start as your mum and your sister and your friend and so on watched it. The key is to find the one video that I would call the unicorn that's like, oh, this one got 4,000, and then look into the demographics of that. Is it 4,000 people you actually want to talk to? And if so, okay, what can you learn from that video? Why did that one get 4,000? Was it the hook? Was it the topic? Was it the story? Was it the style? Was it the opening line? Was it so on? And then you choose one thing and you get 1% better every time you make a video.
Because AI can do that as well, isn't it?
Yep.
You can put videos in and go,
you can put a transcript of a video and say,
give me the thumbnail.
Where does the flow fall? Where are the hooks in this? What bits should I do? What so on? You know? But the thing that people don't do is they don't start. So they don't have anything to get feedback on, or they don't have anything to get AI to get feedback on. These are all tools. You have to use them, right? It's up to you if you choose to use them. And you don't need this kind of camera. Everyone owns a phone. So start with your phone. And you will benefit algorithmically from using your phone. It's tiny. It's like 2-3%. It's better than nothing though, isn't it? Any other questions or final thoughts? I will be around if you want to have a more private conversation. But
I think the only thing I had kind of...
In most cases, I'll use this room as an example. Yeah. There's a reason why the cameras are that side, and there's a reason why I'm using window light and the lights itself are off. Firstly, I wanted you to be able to see the projector, right? Secondly, I know if you have a camera pointing this way, the exposure or light level of that camera is going to try and have to balance inside light, which is a lot darker than outside light. If you are lit by that outside light, you will always look more flattering because you go near a window. So the simple answer, I can go in more depth if you want me to, but simple answer to that is stand by a window, face out so you're looking out the window, and put the camera here. Because then you're being lit by the window light, which will, because it's coming from the sun, even if it's diffused through a cloud, it will always be more flattering than a spotlight that's harsh and probably not a flattering colour, is all I'll say there.
So if you were stood here with the camera over there, it would be awful.
Yeah.
Sunlight.
Yeah. And you'll see it a lot in Zoom meetings, where people will go, I want to show you this amazing view. But all they don't realise is we can't see the amazing view and we can't see them either. Because cameras are not as good as our eyes at being able to tell the difference between the lightest part of an image and the darkest part of an image. Right? That's when it comes down to the tech side of a camera. These cameras will be better than a phone, etc. Right? In that respect. But that's why I'm saying try it. If you don't know what lighting works, there's a million YouTube videos, ChatGPT, etc. But also, just try it. Right? Film a video where you're stood in front of a window, then walk back into the other side of the room. You can do it in here. There's no rush. Like, we've got the room for a while. But then film another film video on the other side and see the difference. And then turn around and do the same thing. Well, if there's not, as I say, I will be around if you want to have a more private conversation, but thank you so much for coming.